So if you watched the tutorial on how to paint a hydrangea using the wet and wet technique, we're about to go into part 2, where I'm going to show you how to put some veins and some more shading and detail on this hydrangea to give it even more realism. So come on, let's jump on in and get going. This is the part 2 of the hydrangea painting, where the first thing that we worked on was using the wet and wet watercolor technique to paint this flower in. Now is where I want to show you how to add a few more details for more realism. So I'm going to be using a very small brush. This is my Rosemary & Co. It's the Designer Series 344, and this is a size 2. Now, if you've never tried Rosemary & Co. brushes before, I would highly recommend them. I have been using these brushes for about 3 years now, and I rarely, if ever, use any other brush. So there's a few different series in Rosemary & Co.'s lineup that I like. The 344 is probably my favorite, and then I have some others that fall behind that I really like as well. One of those, do I have one here? I do. One of those is the Synthetic Series 313. I like that the bristles on this brush, because it's synthetic, are just slightly stiffer than these, but I love these because the point is spectacular on these brushes, and it enables me to get into really tight little places when I need to. Another brush that I like a lot is the Red Dot series brush. These are very similar, but the difference is that the Red Dot, the bristles, the barrel of it, or the belly of the bristles, are a little bit thicker and it'll hold a little more water and paint, but the feel and the way that it adds your paint and water to the paper, it feels very similar. But anyways, I wasn't here to talk about that, but I did, and maybe it'll be beneficial to you. So let's start on adding some detail to this flower. Now, these petals have a ton of little tiny veins everywhere, but at the size that we're painting, which mine is probably overall about a 4x4, which means my flower is probably about a 3x3 size, something around there. And it's way too small to try to add all of those veins. So we're just going to add a few of them just to indicate that there are veins in these petals. So I'm going to start up here, and let me show you what I've got here on my palette. I've taken some of my darkest color, which if you watched the tutorial for the actual hydrangea, this is some quinacridone rose, a little bit of nickel azo yellow, and a tiny bit of phthalo blue to make it a little bit darker than my first mixture, which was just the yellow and the rose together. And as you can see, the consistency is fairly loose. There's more water than there is pigment. And this is the consistency probably of what I would consider somewhere between tea and coffee. It's enough pigment in there that when I start painting, it's going to show up, but it's not so dark that it's going to look odd. So let's start playing around. I'm going to keep a little scratch piece here just to make sure to test what it's going to look like before I go into my paper. So this first little vein is going to come right down through here and down into the center. Then there's another one that comes right over here. And if you're going to notice, well, not if, but you are going to notice that I'm painting these veins next to the highlight areas that I have in this flower, or in the petals. And that is because the sun is shining from the left-hand side. And because of the way that these petals are constructed, the way that they are built, whatever word you want to use, they kind of have almost a ripple effect to it. Now, the petal is still flat, but the veins create somewhat of a little bit of a valley in the petals itself. So that creates places where the sunlight is going to shine on the left side of where that petal has a little rise in it, and then not really so much light on it where it curves back down into the next vein. So already we are getting some more detail in this petal. I'm going to put a few in up here at the top, but I'm not going to go crazy with it because it's really pointless to try to get all of that in. And I'm just mimicking what I see in my reference photo. Now let me say this, you do not have to follow your reference photo to the T. We're really just making the eye see that there are little veins in these petals. That's all we need to worry about at this moment in time. So again, I'm just putting a few, not going crazy. Okay, that's all that I'm going to do on that one. Now let's come on over here to the left to the next one. Let me try this out. Okay. There's one that runs right through the center. And keep in mind that all of these are not going to be perfectly straight. So when you're painting yours in, just take notice of that and how they flow, what they do. Because if you make them all perfectly straight, they're going to look fake. Now I've picked up some of my darker color of my mixture, the one that's the three colors together, because when I get over here into the shadow, I need a little bit darker color so it'll show up. If I feel like it's too dark, I will just tap it with my paper towel. Okay, I'm going to pick up some of my darker color. I'm going to come down into here because I want the little bit darker color when I'm doing the ones that are in the shadow. Go back on over to this petal, and I'm using the watered down version of my dark color. And this one in the center comes up this way, and it curves this direction. And then it also has a little one that comes straight up like that. Now, something else that you'll want to pay attention to is when you get over here to this petal. Remember how I was talking about where the sun was shining on the raised portion of those, well, the sections between the veins. I don't really know what they're called. Pay attention to where you're putting your veins over here because the same thing is happening on this side also. Now, again, I'm having to go into my darker color just because I'm over here where there is darker values in this petal. And I'm going to have to use a little bit darker paint in order for those to show up. I'm noticing that down in here, some of these veins are a little tiny bit wider and a little bit darker. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. Now at this point in time, when I'm picking up my paint onto my brush, I'm getting very little and the paint is kind of dry. The only moisture that's being added to the paint is the moisture coming out of my brush. But I want to make sure that these veins look like they are more defined. And on some of them, this one in particular, when the veins get down here, I'm using my original brighter color right here, which is just the rose and the yellow mixed together, because some of those veins going right down in there are bright. Okay, now we can, if we want to, we can take this a little bit further. So that color that I have in the center of my palette, which is I'm just going to call it a coffee mixture. It's starting to get a little dried out. So I am picking up a little bit of that on my brush and I'm going to do what is called dry brushing. And that's where I'm doing basically the same thing I've been doing. I have just a little bit of paint on my brush and I can just add some color in without the paint being too wet and me being able to have more control. So right up in here, I want to add just a little more texture to this petal, as well as at the same time, I'm adding more value in this area as well. Now, I am not being particular about my marks here. I'm just really kind of doing chicken scratch just to add some deeper values and a little bit of color up in there. Then if I want to, I can come in along these veins and I can actually darken this color right here. Let me wet that and smooth it out. So I put a little bit of dry brush in there and now I'm just taking a damp brush and I am smoothing it out. I'm going to do the same thing right here. I'm going to put a little color next to that vein, rinse my brush, leave some water in there, and then take that water and just blend that color out a little bit better. So see how that is giving this petal more of that kind of a scallopy look? I can do a little bit over here. Now this one is not as pronounced as this one is. So I'm going to do just a little bit. Okay, that's good enough there. This one here, I'm going to do it a little bit differently just because it doesn't really have much of that look going on at all, but I do want to add a little bit. So again, I'm going back to my wet and wet technique. So I've got a little bit of water on there, and I'm just going to take a little bit of color on my brush, just like I've been doing. I don't need much, but I want to put a little bit of shading in here. And you're going to notice that I'm going back to my brush, my color rather, and getting more paint on my brush very often. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm putting so little on there to begin with. And this is just giving me more control over what is going onto my paper, because these I want just subtle. I don't need anything in your face bright. Okay, that's good enough for that one. Now let's come into this one. This one has a little more shading going on. So I'm going to go back to putting my color on a little more in a dry brush style. Then I'll rinse it out of my brush, leave my brush damp, and then soften that out. Okay, so there we have it. We have added some finer details to give the veins the appearance in these flowers, as well as give each little petal a little bit more dimension. Now, you could go further if you want to, but like I was saying in the beginning, because of the size of this flower, there's not really a necessity to go crazy with the amount of detail that you put into this painting. Okay. So now if you want to watch how to add the shadow, just click right up here and it'll take you directly to that next tutorial. Thanks for spending time with me today, and I'll talk to you soon.